So today we're continuing work on the engine. First thing we're going to do is pull the sump off, that's where we got up to last time.
Is it in the shot? Yeah, the sump is already off at this very point in time. Now we will show you us removing the sump.
And then the plan is to mount everything back onto it, air conditioning, power steering, everything else that bolts on.
This is a special technique for removing the sump, bit of leverage.
And a bit of pneumatic, what do they call that? Percussive maintenance? When you hit something?
That is significantly complicate things if he says no. We're not sure if we can engineer with a Haltech in it. Because like emissions and stuff.
So, what are you doing here, Tim?
So we're just preparing the block of the new engine to put the sump on. This is the alloy sump off the Swift Sport, which is a front hump. The Jimny needs a rear hump to clear the front axle, so this will go on there. Also had to change the oil pickup over to match, which is pretty easy.
We had that oil pickup before out of the Swift.
Yeah, so this one came down at the front there, you can see.
Much smaller.
Much smaller.
That's Toyota for you.
Finger tight so that it just starts to squish out from the sides, and then we let it sort of set a bit, and then we tighten it down.
So stepping up the size of the engine obviously means we're going to be putting more strain on the transmission. One thing that Jimnys are generally not good at is keeping the transmission cool enough. So part of this build, what we've done is grabbed one of these Mishimoto trans coolers, and it's an aluminium fin and pipe setup, and it's small enough, and so what we've done here is we have put some spacing on the aircon condenser. Don't do like we did and
Drop the engine into the condenser and break it.
And you can see at the front here, we've still got plenty of space for the fan. Once we've got the space in there, in the condenser, we can actually just run this in here. We're going to run that sandwich between the condenser and the radiator. We're disconnecting the transmission cooler now. We're using some foam spacers between the radiators so they don't rattle up against each other. And this is just some door sealant trim that'll press up against the radiator, just for the same reason, just to reduce damage from vibration. So the Swift engine has a different pulley on it, so we have to grab this pulley off the Jimny, swap it over. I've got to get the belt and stuff off and then put it on. And then once they're loosened, it should come off pretty easy. There is a notch here you got to line up. There it is. Put that bolt back in. Holding the car up.
Flex plate to torque converter bolt. So you got to bolt the torque converter onto the flex plate, otherwise the engine just spins. Doesn't drive anything. Is that fitting the original bolt holes?
It fits in one original bolt hole. Now we just need to put another one in here, hold it in place. But otherwise, position, angle and everything's perfect. Full depression, no problem.
Awesome. Factory fit. And then when you want to program it, mate. How's that for access?
Very nice. Alrighty, so we have...
Feeling pretty good, JC.
Feeling real good. We've spent a lot of time today cutting back all of these redundant sensors. We've left pretty much everything intact that goes from the engine and from the body all the way down to the transmission. We don't know exactly how the transmission and stuff operates yet with regard to that, so trying to leave all that in place. But we've removed all the redundant sensors, as in sensors that we all the plugs we had on the Jimny that we've already rewired, such as this cam sensor. They're already wired into the ECU. We've just really tried to keep the transmission stuff in place, and we've identified a voltage. This will allow us to switch our solenoids, turn the ECU on.
So it's a switch with on. When you turn the key on, we get power there.
Correct, ignition switch, which will allow us to run our relays and provide power through to everything else.
Very nice.
So, yeah. This proper technique for getting your loom on is to just...
Lube.
Yeah.
Or loom.
So yeah, you know how quicker that went?
It's the cable for the wideband O2 that we put in the source manifold, factory spot.
The loom plug holder set up. So I need AVI 2, 3, 4 and 5 from A1. Oops. For the drive-by wire, which is electricians all over YouTube will be judging my technique.
100%. Taped it wrong.
That's pretty good.
Source manifold is installed. Wideband O2 sensor is also installed. This is the fuel pump relay. We've cut the wire to trigger that. It's ground triggered, so it's constant 12 volts.
Yeah.
And triggered it by ground. And so now this is triggered by the Haltech instead.
So we've just installed our throttle body adapter. This is 3D printed out of like a high density material, nylon. It's a good chemically resistant material, and it's fairly heat resistant, but because we're on the cold side of the engine, we're not too worried about heat this part anyway. It's got
worth mentioning as well, all these factory connectors, they're nylon. So people are wondering whether this is going to be suitable. Not every 3D printing material is, but
yeah,
nylon is good.
Chosen nylon because it's chemically inert, doesn't react to fuel, so if for whatever reason there was a fuel leak, it wouldn't dissolve like ABS would. And so what that has allowed us to do is adapt from the Jimny throttle body across to the Swift throttle body with this bolt pattern, and it's just going to sit in there like so.
Alrighty, Haltech, I think we're not connected. Gotta go.
File. Yeah, all that one there, yeah. Get you over. Yeah.
Okay. F5.
Can't support a dash. Let's load it up.
Says it's connected.
Rev limit end. 5,000 seems low, right?
Set it to 2200 so we can hear what the limmy sounds like. Well, up.
So we can start it.
So you got a throttle, working drive-by-wire.
Yeah?
First go, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Does it show any errors? Yeah? Says it wants to reboot again. Do you need to save the config before you reboot it?
I've got to apply the config.
You'd be thrilled to know the oil reading is exactly where we said it would be.
Just the tip?
Just the tip.
Dude, that's nice.
Yep. You have a timing light on you?
No.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Let's see if this happens to be the right number. Yes, try starting this.
Alrighty. Hey! Just gonna turn it off. I think we got a. What is that? Ah, trans fluid's leaking. It's only a small leak. Mint, dude.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, okay. That's got the
Is that a K12?
K series trigger type, yeah.
Alright, that's interesting.
Yeah, very interesting.
Very weird.
I'm surprised that it started and ran, truth be told. The next thing to do would be to confirm the TDC offset. There's a TDC offset angle with a timing light.
Okay.
The film is so difficult. Temporary. It's temporary.
Everything's temporary.
It's temporary.
Temporary permanent. You know that this is supposed to go into your battery, right?
Yeah,
That's the
later.
battery tray thing.
Doesn't have to go there
that's
now.
permanent.
Temporary permanent. Where's that positive please? Yeah.
Oh, I found the proper nut for that. Yeah. It's like taller. That's how it's easy to get on with.
Yes.
It's tall.
That's what I was trying to say when we lost it. But words.
So right now we're checking that the throttle position sensor on the old cable throttle outputs the same voltage range as the sensors on the new throttle body.
Just checking what voltage it
Sorry.
outputs.
Most of the loom is pretty well tidied up. JC, the man, is just finishing up the last little bits. Just sort of got this bit here to tidy up. And everything else, you got all that loom down the bottom.
Yeah, there's still a roller tape hanging off that because most of the way through it, but it's a difficult job.
Almost there. We'll tie them out of the way, but other than that, wiring is getting there. Everything works. How fun was getting the Haltech to work?
So fun. The funnest part was that for some reason, for whatever day Suzuki made this engine, they didn't put an M16A trigger wheel on it. They put a Suzuki K12 trigger wheel on it, and so the ECU didn't recognise it.
Yeah. So
Thanks.
JC wasn't here when I was on the phone to Haltech, but I had the camera rolling. So you're going to see all that when you watch the app.
I'm glad.
Yeah. I think I've stumbled on the correct procedure for installing the fan. When I took the fan out, I was squeezing between the engine, undoing these little bolts here with the fan and the radiator and everything still in. I think to do it correctly is take the hub off the fan, put the hub on, then put the fan on, then put the shroud over the fan, and then you can slot the radiator in between the whole lot. We'll see if that works. Quite a procedure. You can just skip having a radiator. Good, Tim? Fine, it's fine. It's fine, I got it. Battery's in.
Yeah.
All the wiring's nice and clean. John's done a very nice job. think there's a charger on it. I think the charger sitting on.
Yeah, charger's sitting on.
I'm just topping up the coolant, blue stuff like what we drained out. You gotta hit it and say it's not going anywhere.
That's not going anywhere.
No, it's not.
Tidy up inside.
That's like a week of work, isn't it? PCV hose.
Yeah, critically, this went to here on the stock Jimny engine. It goes to here on the Swift engine. This one's got a check valve on it, so it has to run from the intake to this one, and then this one goes to there.
Intake is on. Did you put the air filter in?
Yep.
Air filter's in, good. So the electrical's all nice.
Tap that up.
Plug it in, might as well, it's not doing anything. Engine is good to go, we've got fluids in it. The exhaust is all bolted up. Coolant, power steering, coolant overflow. Wash a bottle. There's some water in there. You need it, your windscreen's dusty.
Yeah.
There's a water bottle behind you there. So we put the bonnet on and see if this stock map or whatever, you found this map off some dude, didn't you?
It's actually the stock map, but
Oh, it's a Haltech map?
yeah,
So we haven't really sort of filmed every step. This project has gone on for a long time, hey?
yeah,
There was that confusion over the manifold. We obviously ended up going with the Jimny manifold, but we made 3D printed that adapter to run the M16A drive-by-wire
yeah.
throttle body. So we got the new technology that we wanted, and as it turned out, we thought the Jimny manifold was really small because the diameter of the throttle body was so small, but it was actually just the throttle body. When we took it off, the whole inside was huge, and the runners are big enough. So
Yeah, we think
it's
so.
performance-wise, probably, unless you're going to really start tuning it, maybe run a turbo or something. At
Yeah.
least an exhaust, there'd be no benefit yet to changing the intake.
Yeah, that's right.
You know, considering it's got an intercooler spinning already,
You must turbo.
it's telling you something.
Hashtag turbo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you put a coin into a machine and you hear it just fucking disappear into the bowels of it.
Yeah, that has to come back out.
Talks. Alright, see if she starts. Whee!
Oh, it's rough. There's the tune.
Sounds like it's knocking.
Stop. Just gonna stop that.
Yeah, stop that. So that dude, that's the job is finished. This looks factory, really. Happy?
Yeah? Yeah, man. I mean, it's it needs a tune, but it's running. It's all wired. We've got all the readouts we need on the ECU, so
Yep. Oil pressure.
all pressure.
It's got
No
all the
leaks.
fluids in it.
No
You can't tell
leaks.
because there's so much junk on the
Probably.
floor.
But yeah, man, I'm stoked.
Dude, it's gonna be cool. Cool. So, yeah, so it's knocking, so I guess we'll have to either see if it's probably not drivable to get tuned, but we get it towed somewhere and have a look at it
Yeah.
and see how we go. We need someone with a timing light to set the timing, like angles and stuff, and ensure that they're correct, and I don't have a timing light, so that's something maybe we can organise that first, because if we do that, it saves paying someone by the hour at a dyno
Get a time line.
to do it. Yeah, I'll make one.
Bucks, right?
We'll make one. Yeah, eBay. Bang good. Whatever. Yeah, that's
We
pretty cool.
didn't even line the timing belt up right though, did we?
We didn't touch it. It's timing chain.
Oh,
Internal.
right.
Yeah, we never messed with the timing. It should be, assuming it was correct from the previous owner. It runs. The fact that it just runs out of the box means it's pretty damn close. So
Yeah.
cool. It was cranking slow, and we were wondering why. And it turned out we never attached the earth lead for the engine. So it's probably getting ground for the starter motor through the exhaust or something.
Nah, that battery was
And-
pretty done.
Alright guys, Stay tuned. Next episode will probably be at a dyno, maybe.
Yeah, dyno.
Tuning place
Depending on how we
or
go.
mechanic if we're getting timing done or something. We'll see what happens.
Yeah.
And we'll let you know how it goes on the road and in the bush.
Yeah, I hope there'll be a video on that soon.
Mint.